Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news as transfer chaos looms again. Apparently we're going all out for Gakpo, as well as bidding 100 million for Antony. And if we don't get Gakpo, we'll go for Carrasco. Yeah, lots to get into, as well as the latest on a few other things as well, including some absolutely outrageous plans that the Glazers may have for Manchester United. If they think signing Casemiro was going to, take the heat off them, they're back into the fire, which I suppose is a good thing, really. Some ridiculous stuff coming out about them that we'll get into. Eric Bailly going on loan as well. A player that I would pick over Harry Maguire. We're actually going to loan him. We can't even get money for the good ones. We'll talk about that, as well as the Ten Hag interview. I just want to delve into that as well. Lots to get into. But as you can see, before we get into anything, on the left-hand side, we are supported and sponsored by Surfshark tonight on the show. Lovely people at Surfshark. You may remember what they are. Surfshark, as I'm sure you do remember, is a virtual private network. It's a VPN. And one of the best things about Surfshark is their data protection services, making sure my private messages, photos, videos, and other sensitive material is protected. But my personal favourite thing about Surfshark, and the thing I think you will like the most, is that you can change your location on Netflix or location specific based streaming services, so you can watch them anywhere in the world. So if you're watching, at the moment I'm watching Paramount Plus. I'm enjoying Yellowstone. So if I was in China and they don't have Paramount Plus there, I can use Surfshark, change my location to London and watch away. So, that's how it works. Fantastic. You can use Surfshark across as many devices as you like, even if they're used at the same time. It's available on every device you can think of, from Android, iOS, Fire TV. You get the picture. It's also got the alert service, which will notify you when your personal information has been leaked online. And because Surfshark are super nice, they're giving United Stand viewers 83% and 3 months free when you use the code United Stand. That's right, you're getting not one, not two, but 3 months free, plus the 83% off. Link, as always, is in the description, or you can scan the QR code. Check it out. It's brilliant. It really is good, and it's well worth a try. So links next to me. Links in the video description, or scan the QR code. 3 months free, and 83% off. Check it out. I wanted to apologise for my comment yesterday. Thanks to Surfshark, by the way. Matt has drawn my attention. He says, I wanted to apologise for my Maguire comment yesterday. You're right, Mark. Full focus on bigger picture. The Glazers are rattled, says Matt. No worries, Matt. Nice to have you back. Is Ten Hag's job at risk if we lose on Monday, or will he be given the time he needs, says Sabin. I would hope his job is not at risk. Although I do want to talk about Ten Hag a little bit later, because I've seen a little bit of clip of the Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher interview, and there's a few observations that I think are quite important there. Hi, Mark. What do you think of the guy from Stuttgart? Says, that Kaladzic. I'm not massively interested in him, Lee, to be honest, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went for him. Mark, these third-party investments are alarming. It's the ESL thought through the back door. Think about it, says Treble Champ. Yep. We'll talk about that in a bit. Probably the most important thing we're going to talk about tonight is the latest update on the Glazers. Disgusting. Farhad, welcome to the Members Club. And when are Man United announcing Casemiro, says Chris. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, there's the official announcements and the interviews, isn't there? I always find that bit a little bit boring, to be honest. It's the done deal I like. If our club is sold, who do you think would be good to replace John Murta and Richard Arnold, says Mustafa. Basically anybody, Mustafa, to be honest. And how can we help boost the Glazer out campaign, says Koo. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's fly straight into the breaking news, which is that Manchester United are set to go all out for Gakpo. This is, I'll put it up on the screen where it's coming from. It's coming from the Telegraph. Manchester United are ready to go all out for Cody Gakpo. A bid is imminent for the PSV known forward. It then goes on to say that Cody Gakpo has told PSV he wants to join Manchester United. They will sell him even if they secure Champions League football this season, which I think they will do. They've got the second leg against Rangers next week in Eindhoven, and they got a 2-2 draw in the first leg. PSV are holding out for a fee of around 38.2 million for Gakpo. However, the negotiations are not expected to be an issue once Man United make a bid. And then it goes on to say that if the Cody Gakpo deal falls through, Manchester United could turn to Carrasco, who we were talking about last night. Now, this is the chaos of Manchester United's transfer window, and you can enjoy it and be excited about it if it's the middle of May or June. But this is a week and a half left of the transfer window. This is not enjoyable. It is pure chaos. We bid for Antony yesterday. 80 million euros for Antony yesterday. He's rumoured to be on strike tonight because he can't believe that Ajax have refused such a good bid. And yet we're now going in for Gakpo. It's just chaos. Absolute chaos. I mean, you bid for Casemiro. We bought Casemiro. Forget that, right? You spend 3 months of the you spend most of the transfer window after Jong. What's gone wrong with that? You buy Casemiro. You put an 80 million euro bid in for Antony, which means you want to pay 80 million euros if you put a bid in. Ajax reject it. Antony goes mad and basically goes on strike apparently and wants the deal to happen, which may still happen. And then United are going all out for Gakpo. It's just weird. What are we doing? Are we buying Gakpo and Antony? A little bit of... It's like United normally take 3 hours to have a crap. Now they're trying to wipe their arse before they've finished. It's ridiculous what we're doing. You know what I mean, though? We normally take about 3 months to do a deal. We're now putting a bid in for Antony. It gets rejected. Antony's trying to get them to accept it, and we're off onto Gakpo. Not got time. See you later, Antony. Yeah, we've caused all this shit now. Yeah, you've basically Antony and Ajax are not getting on. We'll piss off to Gakpo. Wait and see what happens with Antony, you prats. You can't just put a bid in and unsettle a player and then piss off onto the next one. It's just disorganised chaos. It makes no sense. I mean, it makes so little sense to me. I even tweeted today, are we buying Gakpo and Antony and selling Rashford to PSG? I don't want to sell Rashford, by the way. Some people think I want to sell Rashford. It was literally an interpretation of the news we've had in the last 3 hours. Ornstein said yesterday, Ornstein, like a bloody... Like we're holiday together. David Ornstein said yesterday, that we'd bid 80 million euros for Antony. We've now got another journalist saying that we're going to bid for Gakpo. Like, you know, there's just no logic to what we're doing at the moment. How many players can we actually sign, Mark Stewart? Well, it looks like we're bidding for everybody at the moment. It's like asking loads of people to marry you and just waiting for the answer yes. And what about when 3 of them say yes? Well, I can see you on a Monday and a Tuesday. It's just ridiculous. Farhad, welcome to the members club. Thank you very much. Everywhere players will now come close to sign with United. Someone will be pure spins, says May. Gakpo, Antony, Jong, doesn't matter. Glazer's out, says Alonso. I've seen there is interest in McTominay. Who do we have to plead with to take him, says Slow Sports News. Connor, welcome to the members club. You know what? The reason I was a little bit late tonight, and I know sometimes I can be late. The reason I was a little bit late tonight, I was just about to go live. I always check my phone before I was about to go live. And had in one of the group chats, it was like, McTominay is for sale. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And unfortunately, you know, I've got nothing against the sources, I think, but it's 90minute.com, and I don't go off them being right about transfers. I don't know whether they've ever been right about a transfer, so that's how much I don't take that much notice of them. I mean, I hope they are right, but apparently McTominay's up for sale or might go on loan. I absolutely do not think Scott McTominay... Who would buy... I mean, you know why I know it's bullshit? Who would pay money for Scott McTominay? Like, nobody. So I don't believe for 1 minute that Man United are going to loan McTominay. I mean, look, everybody loves McTominay, so he's not going to go anywhere. The great thing is that he's hopefully not going to get picked anymore, but he's not going to go anywhere. Who would bloody want him? So I don't believe that story, and that's why I've not really mentioned it, although I did get dragged in. Didn't the pandemic prove these clubs don't need fans? I'm just confused as to why this sits well out. Maybe I'm American, just don't get it, says Chris. It's taken a decade for the Glazers to realise the fans have a voice. Mark, do you think this exposes how many deals United have stalled on, says Matt Ross? Yes. And it's first come, first serve on who United are buying. Whoever says yes first comes in, says Daniel. It feels like that, Daniel. So yeah, we've bid yesterday for Antony, and now apparently we're going to bid for Gakpo. And it does feel like, and this is what happens when you've messed up the transfer window, it's rude, it's obnoxious, it's arrogant. You cannot bid for one player yesterday and then bid for another one today in the same position and be like, well, whoever says yes, we'll go for. It just comes across as knobhead. I mean, people think Barcelona acted badly this summer. Did they? Did they really? Were they playing Lewandowski off against Haaland? You know, what are we doing as a football club? We've been completely incompetent all summer, and now apparently we want a winger and we're bidding for 2 at the same time. Do we not think of the chaos we cause for the individual? Gakpo wants to come to United. Antony wants to come to United. They ruin their relationship with PSV and Ajax. We only get one of them and we say sod you to the other one. Come on, we're Manchester United. This is what bothers me as well. We never talk about this. Reputationally, we are so damaged. We are such a shell of the great football club that we were before the Glazers. Like, the reputation we have in world football is horrible behind the scenes. We're deemed incompetent, a joke, and these sort of things don't help us. Like, how can you put a bid in for Antony yesterday, disrupt Ajax, disrupt Antony, and then go for Gakpo? I mean, look, I know one thing I would say is that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that we've bid for Antony, then we're bidding for Gakpo, and if we don't get him, we're going for Carrasco when Antony's trying to force his way out of Ajax. So why are we leaving players? It doesn't make sense. The truth will out, of course. Do I think we'll buy Gakpo and Antony? Be stunned if we did. Be stunned. Gakpo can play off the left and Antony can play off the right. One's left-footed, one's right-footed. So you could buy both, and I think we really could do with both. I mean, even if Sancho and Rashford stay, they'd be backup for either. I mean, who's Rashford's backup at the moment? Alanga? Who's Sancho's backup at the moment? Alanga. So you could buy Gakpo and Antony and still keep Rashford and Sancho, and we'd only have backup. We'd have two on each side. So that's what you want. And then Martial and Ronaldo up front. So we could buy both and not sell Rashford when you think about it like that. Rashford and Gakpo for the left, Sancho and Antony for the right, Martial and Ronaldo down the middle. So logically, we probably should buy both, but I don't think that's the plan, to be honest with you. Mike Bremner, welcome to the Members Club. Hi, Mark. Do you think Gakpo is a spin to make Ajax accept the Antony deal? Well, you could be right, Drub, but I also thought Casemiro was spin to force Barcelona to sell us to pay the money that De Jong's owed, but that didn't come to pass, did it? How come Neville didn't interview Ollie and ask him these blunt questions, says Connor? We'll talk about that in a bit, mate. If you're reading this, Barcelona, keep your hands off McTominay. Don't even think about bidding for our best player, says Stephen. I don't really do that. I'm surprised we haven't been linked with Justin Kluivert. He's Dutch and he comes from good stock. I think he's off to Fulham, isn't he, Simon? And United confirmed Casemiro, says Joshua Bowater. Mark, do you think Eric Ten Hag would have blasted the board and threatened to quit along with the sale thing that pushed the Glazers to open the checkbook? No, Ashish, I don't think that's what's happened at all. Deal announced. Cameo Casemiro, says Amit. Have we actually announced Casemiro? I hope we have, but I don't know whether we have officially. I can't see that we've announced it. There's a Manchester United. We are so here we go. We are delighted to announce that we have reached an agreement in principle for the transfer of Casemiro. Manchester United announced the transfer is subject to agreement of personal terms, visa, and a medical. So they've announced it, but football's changed a lot, hasn't it? Now we used to just get the official announcement, and now you get the pre-announcement. So all the players are saying welcome and this and that. Fuck off! You've just lost 2 games in a row, you twats. Come on. Stop trying. I don't like it when players do that. They jump on a new signing like, yeah, welcome to this great football club that just got stuffed by Brentford. Keep your gob shut and focus on winning games of football and not social media likes. Deal and that. There we go. Thank you very much, Amarit. Welcome to Members Club, Philemin and Felim as well. And Glazer the spoilt children who never bother the entire year but managed to pass the grade with a warning. But at one point, warnings catch up with you, says Dowell. So yes, just in relation to the members, by the way, I did promise it you this afternoon. It's up. We have a members section where we put some exclusive video as a thank you. Normally, it's a stats deep dive. Casemiro versus Fabinho and Rodri stats deep dive. You're going to bloody love it as a member. Make sure you watch it. It's only been up for half an hour. After this, check it out. Yeah, you're going to love it. Basically, Casemiro destroys Fabinho, who for me is one of the best centre defensive midfielders in Europe. If Casemiro can bring 75% of his Real Madrid form to Man United, we're feasting in that midfield. Already surpassed Haaland's, here we go, says Mark. And TJ, welcome to Members Club. And could we end up getting both Antony and Gakpo, says Darren. I think I've just answered that one, Darren. We could do it because you could have Gakpo and Rashford off the left, Sancho and Antony off the right, but I don't think that's the plan. I don't think it is the plan, although we are so short off the wing, we could do with both of them, to be fair. Although what I would say is, and I think it's a valid point, would you be happy buying Gakpo and Antony anyway? Again, 2 Eredivisie wingers. I'm just a little bit concerned. I mean, I back Ten Hag, like many of you, but I'm a little bit concerned the media is starting to really click on this. Like, why is everyone an Eredivisie player? Although, to be fair, Casemiro, not Dutch, never played in the Eredivisie, and never been managed by Ten Hag. So I'm glad that that's happened in that sense. Is Garner still for sale? Yes, Lil, he is. It's so demeaning that we're after all these players after getting bantered or windows, as Braden. And Jong, Antony and Gakpo would provide some depth for the team, which is something we desperately need. Let's just hope it happens, says Nathan. To everyone considering to be a member, it's a great video today. Thank you so much, Mark. So glad I'm a member, says Lit. Thanks very much for that support, mate. If you want to be a member, the link's in the live chat, or you can just click the join button. How many more transfers do you expect to sign, Mark? Also, great work all summer as usual, says Mark. I can't predict it, mate. You know what? I normally can predict. I'm normally happy to predict. I'm normally happy to put percentages on things. But this is just disorganised chaos. This is just money's there. We want to stay in control of the club. We don't want to sell it. Buyers, players. Can't get excited by signings while the Glazers are still here, says Farmy. I know what you mean. Agreeing personal terms hasn't scared me until this summer. Hoping for the best, says Andrew Rossi. Why not operate like this in the transfer window, Mark? Barca got stuck, but they got players. Better be called Prats and get players than be jokers, says Savish. Hi, Mark. Just wanted to know your thoughts on the signing of Casemiro. Like, how much does it excite you? And also, who's your ideal next signing? I'm not excited, ATD. Casemiro is a fantastic player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in a United shirt. But United don't excite me. We've got a real opportunity to remove the Glazers. That's what excites me. That's my focus. I'd be fake if I said to you, I can't wait. I'm so excited about Casemiro. I can't wait for him to play. I think we'll get beat on Monday against Liverpool. I think we'll have no points from 9. And I think the Glazers need to go. Our transfer business is like a ladies' night out. They take forever to do something and then start rushing about last minute, says Liam. Sexist. Rachel is a lady. Tell him off, Rachel. Thanks for becoming a member. And Mark, can you imagine if we had won our first 2 games, these transfers would not be happening, says Daniel. Mate, if Sir Jim Radcliffe hadn't said he wants to buy United, I don't think these transfers would be happening either. I think we're being played. But I'm going to mention something really important now. We can come back to a bit of transfer stuff because there is some other stuff to talk about. But I very nearly started the show on this, and you might tell me off for not doing it. You've got every right. But I just thought, let's mix it up a bit tonight. Because I thought a thumbnail with Glazers out and get the Glazers out as a title was probably a little bit, we could do that every show. But this is what we've seen today. And this is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, we don't know how much truth is in this. Ronaldo says stuff is lies and maybe this isn't true. But whether this is true or not, it gets people concerned because it could happen. So we've signed Casemiro today. I think the way the fan base has reacted to that is fantastic. They've said, good player, welcome to the club, but we want the Glazers out. It's not broke the internet. We want the Glazers out. We're going to end the day with something like this. And this, to me, is just pure disgusting. Now, listen to this for the next couple of minutes. The Glazers are exploring different ways to raise investment, including a loan or selling a minority stake in Manchester United. They need to fund infrastructure work costing about 200 million to raise Old Trafford's capacity and improve the training ground. The Glazers are expected to offer a cash sum in exchange for a share of future TV income as a method of raising money to pay the expansion of Old Trafford. They're going to bankrupt this club, and they should not be allowed to do this. Barcelona can do this if they want, but effectively it's a lever. It's exactly what Barcelona have done. You are giving up 25% of your future earnings. You're kicking the ball down the road. There is no benefit to this at all. This is like remortgaging your house. You'll pay for that 200 million. So we're going to give people 25% of our future TV earnings for 200 million now. It's a bloody joke. It's an absolute joke. It's essentially what Barcelona have done with levers, and whether it happens or not, it's a disgrace. It also goes on to say the possible options would be, which industry insiders say is certain to be offered by investment firms, would be to follow Barcelona's example and do a deal with a finance company for a lump sum in return for a percentage of future TV rights income. It is an absolute disgrace. It makes me fume. It makes me absolutely fume. It's basically more debt. It's just a different form of debt. We're already £500 million in debt with the Glazers, and they'd consider basically putting us into more debt. Because if an investment firm gives us 300 million for 25% of our future earnings over the next 10 years, that makes us weaker over the next 10 years because we're only getting 75% of the TV earnings, and that 300 million is effectively being paid back, and they probably get more for that. It's a disgrace. And they've got the power to do this. It really, really, really annoys me. And, I cannot really say more than that. I'm absolutely fuming about it. So, look, at the end of the day, I think that... It's an absolute disgrace, like I say. And at the end of the day... Let me just get some water. You don't want to see what I'm doing. It's nothing like that. It's to do with my mouth. It's an absolute disgrace. So, look, all I can say is I'm very worried that we don't have a midfield partner, says Scott, for Casemiro. Well, I'm just off on the football stuff at the moment. Colin, welcome to the Members Club. Welcome to Ken Gyro, Andreas and Rupish. I'm just catching up with the members, and Ivan as well, Anurag and Gary. And hi Mark, I hope you see this and promote this. Can't we trend Adidas boycott the Glazers, followed by or we boycott Adidas, says Nishant. But this is dangerous. This is absolutely dangerous, because this puts us in a precarious position. This is what happens when you've got owners like the Glazers. They've seen what Barcelona have done. I'm not a Barcelona fan. Some Barcelona fans think it's fantastic what they've done. I hope it works out for them. But I wouldn't want my football club doing anything like that. I don't want these financial levers. I don't want us giving up 25% of this and 50% of that for money now. No, 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 no. It stinks of we could go bankrupt in a few years. It's dangerous. We should not be giving up future TV rights for 300 million quid to build a new stadium. They should be fucking selling the club. If that's the situation, sell up and get out. Don't fund us to investment firms that we don't know nothing about. It's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And you know what? I'm firmly Glazers out. We've got a viable option to buy this football club. And when I saw this tonight, I thought, part of me was very angry, and part of me thought, no, this is actually good news, because this needs to be spread far and wide. This is why Casemiro or Antony or anybody else means sod all, because this is what matters. This is dangerous. And it reminds me of the Super League last year. How did we as a fan base let them get off with that? I'll never understand how they got away with that. What went wrong? I almost today was trying to find articles as to how we went from getting games cancelled, major outrage, sponsors being targeted. Where did it all go wrong? Why did the tap get turned off? I don't even know. I know the season ended and they bought Sancho and it just suddenly got forgotten. They wanted to take us into the Super League behind our back. They wanted to take Manchester United into a Super League and out of the European Cup. The European Cup that defines this football club. From the Busby Babes to 68 to 99 to 2008, the one trophy that is so intrinsically linked to this football club is not the Premier League, it's not Division 1, it's not the FA Cup. You ask any United fan what trophy embodies what Manchester United means, and it's the European Cup. So Matt Busby saw that trophy and wanted us to go into it. We had the tragedy in 58, we had the 68, 10 years to win it again in 68. The European Cup is everything to Manchester United, and these owners wanted to take us out of it so that we could play Liverpool in Delhi or Arsenal in New York and put us into a Super League and take us away from Old Trafford and the fans here. How did they even get away with that? They did that. They wanted to do that and they got let off. You've got to bring that emotion back as well. I don't understand how they got away with that. They seemed to do a Zoom call saying they were going to rebuild Old Trafford and give shares to the fans, and it all got forgotten. It never should have got forgotten. And this sort of thing is bloody terrifying. Levers like Barcelona giving up 25%. You know what I would say to this? I would say this: if they want 300 million quid, and I wouldn't want them to have it anyway, if they want 300 million quid, sell 25% of the club with voting rights to the fans. You'll raise 300 million quid in no time. 25% of the club to the fans. Fans will buy the shares. You'll have more than 300 million quid in no time. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give the fans shares because Yeah, we've never wanted to do that. We'd rather sell 25% of our future earnings. Bullshit. It's dangerous. And you know why it's dangerous as well? If they sell 25% of our future earnings and then the club gets sold, the new owners, they ain't getting 25% of the future earnings. So it's enough is enough. Enough is enough. We have to stop this. This might not happen. This might be pure speculation. But if they're thinking or considering, or even if they're not, they can do what Barcelona have done and pull levers to bring money in and then lose future revenue. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. This is why we need owners who are not for profit. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Ed Woodward got scapegoated and it all went away, LJ. Look, it's so important. It's so important that these sort of things get discussed and put out there. And fans do get frustrated about it because we've got to make a big difference. Jack, Hendry and Stanley and Armand, welcome to the members club. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it, and I'm sure not many of you are. To think that they're trying to raise money through God knows what I don't want the Glazers in charge of Manchester United, and I'm sure many of you don't. I certainly don't want us to be giving 25% of our future TV earnings to some fucking investment fund that we from God knows where because they want their piece of flesh. I want this club owned by somebody who just wants the team to be good on the pitch, who's not fixated on putting us into debt and everything like that. We've got a real fight on our hands here, and we need to get these prats out of this football club because there's a very, very big chance that they will bankrupt us. Casemiro looks like a good signing, but we've got loads of players on 200-300 grand a week. If we don't finish in the top four, revenue drops, sponsorship drops, debt's not going to get paid. We could go bankrupt. We could go bankrupt. I don't think we will, but we could do under this current ownership model. And if we're thinking now, let's get money in now by decreasing future earnings, oh my God, it's terrifying. It really is. The time is now. The time is now. And if you're going to be convinced by Antony and Casemiro and God knows who else they're going to sign in the next few days, it could be a plaster on an open wound that's going to infect and destroy us. It really is. Something needs to be done. It really does. But look, whether it will get done or not, I hope it can do. But yeah, when you've got owners like we've got, the Glazers, Barcelona is very different. Barcelona voted to do those levers. That's on them. That's up to them. Barcelona's got a presidential system and votes and everything. They voted to pull those levers. That's on them. The Glazers can just pull these levers. They can say we're having that investment fund. We're going to give up these rights. We've got no power. And there's no voting system. The Glazers decide to do it and we watch it. Is it just me or are they trying everything possible to deter buyers, says Rash? And Mark, you need to be very vocal against the Glazers. You're on TalkSport show on Sunday. Oh, I will be, Joseph. I will. I've got to be a little bit careful, though, because the Glazers might ring TalkSport up and get me off. But, night before 8 o'clock, we'll be on national radio, and I'll be telling you what I think. Just get Glazers out from this club. Enough is enough, says Andy. This is absolutely disgraceful what the Glazers are trying to do. Keep up the good work, Mark, says Martin. Thank you very much. Can't the government step in? I don't know. But the problem is, and another problem is as well, say the Glazers, they give up. Look, let's say, this is all hypothetical. Let's say the British TV rights are worth, 100 million over the next, and it's way more than that. But let's say the British TV rights over the next 3 years are £1 billion, yeah? And over the next 10 years, English TV rights are £1 billion. So the Glazers get an investment fund in and say, if you give us a couple of 100 million, you can have 25% of that over the next 10 years, which is 250 million. So you've made yourself 50 million quid. Who's going to buy us then? You're in debt by 500 million. You've given up 25% of your next 10 years TV earnings. Like you're putting us into big danger of bankruptcy, and you're also making us unsellable because we're saddled with debt and owed money all over the place. We're not a particularly great product to buy at the moment because of the debt anyway. We can't be putting ourselves into more technical debt. And Barcelona are in technical debt. If they give up 25% or 50% of their TV rights, you're not getting that money. Somebody else is getting that money. So it's technical debt, really, because it's your money that you're not getting because it's owed to somebody else. So, yeah, what we can do about it, I don't know. Levers are a poor idea, Elliot. TV revenue will boom shortly with streaming. United would be locked into a price below market rate. Also, 200 million is no refit for Old Trafford. Exactly, it's not enough, Elliot. Sean, Manchester, welcome to the Members Club. And of course, even if we did get 200 million, the Glazers are going to take dividends out in January and next summer again. So, it just funds that as well. They should sell the naming rights for 30 years for 1.2 billion. Example, Old Trafford MasterCard Stadium. That would be a better idea, says Troy. Yeah, I would like to think the fans would be consulted about that. But then again, I'd like to think the Glazers would just piss off. Mark, I really love to see Antony in United, says Sayed. So yeah, that's my little rant on the Glazers. But it's something to keep in mind. And it's something to keep vocal about. Like the things they can do. If you think what they've done already is damaging, they can do a lot more. It's funny. I was thinking about this. We were talking about it on a show a couple of months ago. And the Friday night show is always a little bit more relaxed, as you know. We were talking about this a couple of months ago. And we were talking about Barcelona. And we were talking about the Frankie de Jong deal. And some of you might remember it. And somebody in the chat said, do you think the Glazers would ever do what Barcelona have done? And we sort of went, what? Why would they need to do that? They don't need to do that. But you know what? I think they have seen it. And I think greedy people will see what Barcelona have done and gone, oh, you know what? We can give up future earnings for a cash influx. We can get 300 million quid into this club right now by selling off 25% of our future earnings in TV. And if we sell the club, we just make 300 million anyway. Someone else has to saddle that problem. And also, as well, the other thing as well, if the Glazers are thinking about getting 200 million quid in by selling 25% of our TV earnings for the next 10 years, that means they're planning on being here for the next 10 years as well. I heard somebody say today, I've heard that United are selling players to boost the share price so they can sell it for more. These sort of things are dangerous. I don't think that's true. I think they are buying players because last year they got out of the Super League issue by buying Sancho. And I think they think you buy a bit of money, you buy a few players. I mean, what's spending £200 million on players when you know you're about to get 200 or 300 million from investment? You kill the Glazer out movement and you get a load of money in anyway. I don't think the Glazers have got any intention. Apparently there are 6 Glazer siblings, brothers and sisters. 4 of them are not that interested in United. Joel and what's his name? I don't know. I can picture them. Can't even think the names. Joel and Jim, or whatever his name is. Someone in Avram and Joel. They don't want to sell. They don't want to give up day-to-day control of Man United. So I don't see them selling. I don't. Panic buying players for 200 when you need to invest 200 in the long-term infrastructure. Are you kidding me? Glazers out, says Stefan. What happened to that 50-plus rule-up petition we did with the government? Nothing, Nathan. Nothing. I think we don't get excited over signings anymore because of how much of a graveyard our club is for talent, says Matthew. And I think it's dangerous, all these signings and the cost of them. There will be no change when owners initially come in because of all the players' wages, etc., says Rory. Well, going back to the start, we don't know what's happening. We bid for Antony yesterday, 80 million euros. There was talk about that bid going up to 100 million euros. There's now talk of us going for Gakpo. So, I mean, I don't know what we're doing. Interesting bit of breaking news here. Good point from Alex Crook, who works on TalkSport. Casemiro is an excellent signing for Man United. A born winner in a problem position, but much more still needed this window and beyond. Let's not allow it to paper over the sizable cracks. Laurie Whitwell has said the pursuit of Frankie de Jong is now seen as over. Well, Simon Stone as well. Casemiro's arrival almost certainly signals the end of Manchester United's attempt to sign Frankie de Jong. Regarded as highly unlikely, both players would be signed in the same window. Not ruling out a further attempt in the future, but for now, it's not happening. I mean, look, you know what? Get angry. Get pissed off, because they've spent all summer after Frankie de Jong, and now they're admitting it's over. And we're all meant to go, No, that's not it. Remember the picture of Arnold and Murta in Barcelona. I said if we don't get Frankie de Jong, that's an advert for Dumb and Dumber 3. Get it out there. Someone do some artwork, because it's bloody embarrassing. 3 months of this transfer window, they've put it out there that we're confident we're going to get this deal done. And what do? It's pure spin again. You can take this to the bank as well. It's pure spin. You could have predicted this. You spend 3 months of the transfer window telling everybody, yeah, we're confident about de Jong. Yeah, we're confident. We've got private agreement with him. Don't worry about the public stuff, about him not wanting to come. He knows Ten Hag. They holiday together. We've got a private thing going on. We'll get de Jong. We'll get de Jong. We'll get de Jong. 3 months of this. We're going to get de Jong. We're going to get de Jong. We sign Casemiro. At the end of the night, we're not getting de Jong. It's like, they are so predictable as a football club. We've signed Casemiro. We're not getting de Jong. Casemiro, official. We're not getting de Jong. Literally, they're minutes apart. We've just officially announced the Casemiro deal on @manunited.com or whatever. And then a few minutes later, you've got all the journalists going, we're not getting de Jong. Fucking ridiculous football club. Absolute joke of a football club. Trying to hide the fact you've spent 3 months embarrassing the club, pretending you're going to get fucking de Jong, and then you announce Casemiro and go, we're not getting de Jong. They infuriate me. They absolutely infuriate me with their games and their spin. They think you're stupid. They think you are thick. They think you're just going to be sat there going, Casemiro, Casemiro, what number's he going to wear? Get the shirt ordered. Oh, Jimmy, they're not signing de Jong. Don't care. Got Casemiro. We got Casemiro. Don't care about de Jong. That's what they think you're going to do. They think you're an idiot. They think you're an imbecile. Not anymore. Not anymore. United fans are not idiots. They are not imbeciles, and they can see what's happening. They can see what's happening. This is pure panic stations. Spend big money on a good midfielder because you fucked up. Absolutely fucked up. And Casemiro ain't de Jong. So God knows what Ten Hag thinks, because they're very different profiles of midfielders. If you think we're playing out from the back with a high line with Casemiro, I don't see that happening. If anything, we might play deeper with Casemiro because he's a good defensive shield. I mean, are we now playing deeper because of Maguire? Is Ten Hag playing the way? I mean, this is going to be very interesting to observe tactically, and I don't have the answer. But does Casemiro coming in mean we play a deeper line now, which plays into Maguire's hands? Are we not going to play the high line anymore? Very interesting to see what happens now. Giving myself a headache. Glazers have ruined an English institution and landmark, says VU. The Glazers will have Casemiro at Old Trafford for a presentation before the match to pull protesters from outside, says Esteban. Getting the Glazers out is going to take everything. Can't be done in waves, says Omka. Fabrizio just clarified, Casemiro deal is 60 plus 10. In euros, it will touch around 85 million. Real Madrid have done some proper business, says Anshu. And Arnold and Murta in Barca, fans think it's for de Jong. Reality, they're asking Barcelona about the levers, says Shrin Vasin. Well, look, I don't know whether anybody's aware about this. Gary, thank you very much for joining the members club. I don't know whether anybody's actually aware about this, but you do realise that Joel Glazer basically runs the club in minute detail. Like he's involved every day. So any decision the Glazers are involved in, they are involved in it. And look, you know what? It's a weird thing to be, isn't it? Because in a way, I'm very happy that most of us are very angry tonight, because it means the Casemiro deal hasn't worked. It hasn't got United fans excited because they're furious. But then when you're furious, that doesn't make you feel very happy, does it? And, reading things about how the Glazers are looking to raise money by giving up future earnings and getting investment funds to come in. Disgusting. Pulling levers like Barcelona. Reading that we've bought Casemiro and we're basically saying that de Jong deal is off. I want to know why the de Jong deal is off, by the way. We'll never get told, but I want a journalist out there to do their bloody job. You've wrote enough about de Jong all summer. Now tell us why the de Jong deal's off. All we're getting is it's unlikely. Why is it off? Why was it ever on? Because the public story has always been De Jong does not want to come to Manchester United under any circumstances. That's always been the public story. And yet, many people have said, and I've had phone calls with these people, yeah, that's the public story, but behind the scenes, De Jong will come to United and Barcelona will definitely sell him. So why is he not being sold now? This De Jong story absolutely has taken up so many hours of people's time this summer. Are we literally just going to say it's off with no explanation? At least with Sancho, we knew that summer chase where it didn't happen. We knew it didn't happen because United wouldn't pay what Dortmund wanted. And Man United thought Dortmund would lower the price and they didn't. So we all knew why the Sancho deal didn't happen. It was embarrassing, but we knew. I want to know why the De Jong deal's not happening. Because for 3 months we've been told it's going to happen, even though De Jong doesn't want to come. Why did Man United waste all of this transfer window on De Jong then? Did they just hope? Was it just pure hope, incompetence? Or is there something more to it? Van der Beek, Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, says Troy. Did you see the interview on Ten Hag and someone asked Ten Hag about Casemiro, but Ten Hag seemed not happy about it? Do you think they signed Casemiro without Ten Hag's approval, says Mustafa? Look, it's a great question. I don't think you can't be happy with Casemiro, but I think you can be happy with Casemiro and furious that you didn't get De Jong. Look, I know this for a fact, and you know for a fact. Ten Hag was absolutely obsessed with getting De Jong all summer. He's not wanted backups all summer. He's been, this is the player. This is his number one summer transfer target. Yes, he wanted Darwin Núñez and we didn't get him. He wanted Timber and we didn't get him. But De Jong's different. De Jong was the focal point signing. De Jong was the one, I need this player above anybody else. This is the player I'm going to build my team around. So I don't think Ten Hag will be happy, no, because they haven't provided him with the player that he wanted and above anybody else who had the distinct skill set. He even said in an interview, if we don't get the player that we need, then I'll coach someone from within. That's how little he thought of alternatives. So yeah, getting Casemiro is a great signing, but he hasn't been given Frankie de Jong, and I think Ten Hag will be rightly not happy about that. The great Manchester United are being destroyed by the jokers from the United States, and States is what we are because of them, says Sean Manchester. Let's get Tielemans so we can finally have a competent midfield for the first time in years, says Ghosty. If the protests are big on Monday, I bet they will be back in for De Jong on Tuesday as another attempt to win the fans round, says Glenn. At least Malcolm Glazer was a legitimate businessman when he first bought the club. Now we're stuck with his spoilt kids running the show, being advised by bankers that love the advisory fees, says Brody. And did you see the... I've done that one. You know, I do wonder, actually. I do wonder about this De Jong thing. Remember we're on the 4 o'clock show. Our video was actually De Jong bid. There was a rumour this afternoon that Manchester United were going to go... that was still in for Frankie de Jong. And I said I was quite happy about that because if they don't get him, it means that, you know, the club and the Glazers will be under the microscope again. I'm wondering, because they monitor everything at Man United, I'm wondering if they've got wind of that and realise that the fans are still expecting De Jong as well as Casemiro. Because a few hours later, we're now getting from Simon Stone and Laurie Whitwell that De Jong's very unlikely. We've never had that. We've never had that. Not last month, not last week, not 2 months ago. We've never had a brief from United that De Jong's not likely. They've always been quietly confident. The minute we sign Casemiro, and the minute, you know, people are still saying that De Jong can happen, they're out killing it. That's very telling to me. Because they do monitor everything and they do know everything that goes on. So I think they've killed the De Jong deal purposely on the day that Casemiro has been signed because they know it will be, you know, they'll get away with it. Don't let them get away with it. I think answers need to be asked there. But unfortunately, where are you going to get your answers from? Because Murta will never do an interview. Arnold will never do an interview. And can I just remind everybody as well, I know we're all anti-Glazers, but Richard Arnold sat in a pub and said the money's there for the players the manager wants. He hasn't got Antony yet. He certainly hasn't got De Jong yet. So, liar. Your pants are on fire. Screw getting excited about signings. We should be increasing a unified Glazer out movement, says Jared. Hi Mark, what do you think our best midfield the 3 is now? I don't care, X. I don't care. I'm not in that mindset to start talking about, oh, what's our best 11? What's our midfield? Respect to you if you want to. There's bigger fish to fry here. That sort of conversation to me is just letting the Glazers off the hook. Getting excited about what we've got and how we're going to play. Not doing it. I'm not at the moment. I'm not doing it because I just think that just lets them off. I repeat again, I still don't understand, and we've all got to take collectively responsibility here. I still don't understand how the Glazers, behind our back, tried to put us in a Super League, would have put us in a Super League, which would have destroyed the English football system, the European Cup, all our history would have gone in the bin because European Cup wins wouldn't mean anything because it wouldn't exist anymore. They were going to do that because they've got absolutely no care or knowledge of what we think about this football club. They were going to take us to play games all over the world, and a Zoom call got them out of it. A Zoom call full of lies got out of it. I don't know how that all stopped last summer. I don't know how the Glazers got off last summer. They never should have been let off the hook last summer. And if you let them off the hook this time, then we're going to get what we deserve because things will get worse. 12 months ago, they tried to destroy the history of this football club and take us into a Super League. 12 months later, they're at it again, trying to bloody God knows what to get money into the football club and put us into more debt and stuff. It's just disgusting. The only explanation for Arnold's incompetence that he's a double agent being employed by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, says Graham Barber. I was looking forward to Fall Guys last night, whatever happens. Mate, Nathan, I'm very busy with more important things than playing computer games, I'm afraid. Can everyone go to the Liverpool game with the sign of the picture of Arnold and Murta in Barcelona, says Ian. And first time I've seen United in getting the Glazers out. I just hope it can continue slow. I really can. I really do. Anyway, I did want to just mention this as well. Story coming out tonight that Eric Bailly is looking like he's going on loan to Marseille. I mean, there's just so much about this. I feel like a scouser. Calm down. Structure. There's just so much wrong with this as well. Eric Bailly going on loan to Marseille. The French league. Eric Bailly, in the minimal times he's been given game time by United in the last 2 years, has played really well. He should be playing in Serie A. He should be playing in La Liga. He should be playing in the Premier League. The French league on loan. I mean, I genuinely think there's a conversation that Eric Bailly is better than Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. And we're loaning him to Marseille. We can't even sell the players I thought clubs would be queuing up to buy. I mean, look, I can sit here and say, please nobody buy McTominay. He's world class. We don't want to. Whatever you do, don't put a £20 million bid in for McTominay. I'll cry my eyes out. We can't lose Scott. That's lying. I want people to buy him for any money. But in the case of Eric Bailly, I genuinely feel that if West Ham or Everton gave us 20 million for him, you'd be getting a good deal. I don't understand how we can't get money for Eric Bailly. And he's being loaned out. And again, it's another strand of the Glazers. And I say this with very, very big conviction. I'm pretty sure we will have been offered money for Eric Bailly and other players, and the Glazers have said no, it's not enough. Because I cannot for the life of me understand how you cannot sell Eric Bailly, who is actually a very good player. Now, of course, people will say the wages. He's probably on about 100 grand a week, and that is a problem, and that might be the reason. But again, that's the Glazers' fault for giving out stupid wages. But you know, I go back to the start of the summer. We were meant to be selling Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Axel Tuanzebe, Brandon Williams. We've sold none of them. None of them. The only player we've sold with a week and a half left of this transfer window is Andreas Pereira. You know, all these players I've just mentioned, they're still here. That squad is still bloated, even though 5 players walked out on free. The mess runs deep. The mess runs deep. Do not be fooled by the Glazers chucking money at Casemiro. It's not even the player that... And you know, I like Casemiro, but let's be blunt here. It's not even the player Ten Hag wanted. If you want to look at it really negatively, Ten Hag wanted a 25-year-old who can bring the ball out from the back. They've given him a 30-year-old who doesn't do that. It's not the player Ten Hag wanted, and he's 5 years older than what Ten Hag wanted as well, for the same price. So, you know, you could look at it like that, as much as I like Casemiro. But look at it in another way. Ten Hag's only been in the job 5 minutes. he's still got Eric Bailly on 100 grand a week, Phil Jones on 100 grand a week, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on 100 grand a week. Twan Sebi and Brandon Williams, don't know what they're on. We're going to be paying about £500,000 a week on players that shouldn't even be here. That's $6 million a year. We can't sell players either. You know, when I talk about bankruptcy, I don't think we will go bankrupt, but you can see how we could go bankrupt. If we start not getting in the top 4 regularly, the wages we're paying Varane 300 grand a week for 3 more years. Maguire's on 200 grand a week for, I think, 3 more years. We're about to hand out a big contract to Rashford. Like, Casemiro's on 300 and something grand a week for the next 5 years. Like, we've got massive wage commitments coming out of this football club on top of the wage commitments of players we can't get rid of. It wouldn't take, I think, 2 more years out of the Champions League and we would be in huge trouble. Huge trouble. George, welcome to the Members Club. And Mark, does loaning players keep them on the books as assets? Surely Premier League don't allow leavers, says Andy and Bruno. Do you believe the rumours that Ahmad and that Nice want him permanently apparently and not on loan? Would you cash in on him? I mean, Salah, if I'm absolutely honest, what do you think? I don't think Pellistri and Ahmad have got any future at United. Again, that's just a big waste of money. I'd love it if they did, but I've never felt they're part of the plan. I don't even know why Solskjaer bought them. They always felt like strangers. As soon as we got them, we loaned them. I don't think there's ever been a strategic plan to implement them into the way Man United play. I felt there was with Garner and we're selling him. So I 100% think we'll sell Ahmad and Pellistri at some point. I know someone who met the Glazers recently. They bragged about how United has more supporters than the NHL, NBA and NFL combined, yet they constantly let those supporters down, says Aran. I don't think the Glazers are selling. I don't think they've got any intention of selling. I would love to be proved wrong. I don't think they're going to sell, and therefore I firmly believe that it's got to be a hostile takeover and the fans are going to have to push it. They really are, because I just don't see. I don't think they're going to sell. And of course, we're just getting loads and loads of stuff about Casemiro now, but it's and slipping about De Jong. Disgusted. I'm disgusted. We bought Casemiro today. You'd expect the fan base to be in a happy mood. I'm just disgusted with what we're doing. I really am. And why don't they do their job and sell players and raise 200 million that way for the training ground, says Dazzo. Well, as I said, if the football club are wanting to raise money and they're going to go to an investment fund who's going to say we want 25% of your future earnings, like pulling a lever like Barcelona have had to give 300 million, I know for a fact the Glazers could sell 25% of the club and raise way over £300 million, and they could do it through fan ownership. Look, we don't need to get technical about how many thousand shares you get for 25%, but imagine if every Manchester United fan bought a share for £100 and you add 250,000 of those. How much is that in millions? I mean, I don't know. I haven't got a calculator in front of me. I'm tired. But what I'm saying is, you could easily raise 300 million quid from Man United fans buying shares in the club, and you would do, because there's millions of United fans worldwide, and fans would buy more than one to have a voter's right in this football club. But they won't do that because they don't want to give up 25% of the business. They're actually looking at giving up 25% of future. It's a very clever thing to do, but it's a horrible thing to do. If you own Manchester United and you want to keep owning 100% of Manchester United, but you want to get money in, you give up 25% of your TV rights, because that's nothing to do with your club. You sell earnings to get money in, because earnings have got nothing to do with the club. And this is what Barcelona did. Levers of TV deals and other things that are not Barcelona. And that's what the Glazers will do. And we'll be stuck with them for absolutely ages. Absolutely ages. Apparently it's 25 million for 100. My point was not a maths lesson. What I'm saying is, I guarantee you there is a way where Manchester United fans could have 25% of the club and raise £300 million easily. Easily. You work the maths out how it works, because you can have hundreds of thousands of shares. You could easily, but it's how a business generates their shares. You can have as many shares in a business as you want. You can have one share that owns it all. You can have hundreds of thousands of shares. That's how it works. I'm not here to do a maths lesson. What I am saying is, instead of getting private investment funds to buy future earnings, you could actually just do a share scheme where Man United fans get 25% of Manchester United and you raise 3, 4, 500 million pounds. But they won't do that. They won't do that. Anyway, it is very sad. It is very, very sad. And I think things are going to get worse. I really do. We've just sat and watched 3 months of a transfer window where this club has leaked out. They're very confident that they're going to get Frankie de Jong. They've signed Casemiro, and in the little just behind it, they've gone Casemiro. De Jong's not happening. Fucking joke. They treat you like idiots. They should be treated like idiots. They need to go. Simple as that. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. God knows what we're doing tomorrow. I mean, we're bidding for players, of course, as we all know. Hostile takeover is the way forward. It is. I believe it is. It's just whether things are happening. I hope things are happening. I'm not hearing much at the moment, but I hope things are happening behind the scenes to unite the fan base. I've not heard anything about that at the moment. I don't know whether certain groups think they can just do it on their own. Hopefully they can. But, the doors are open, as I've said, to the United stand. We're involved in something that's happening this weekend separate to the protest, but, it's small fry, but these things might help. Nicholas, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. Don't forget to check out, on a positive note, don't forget to check out the Casemiro versus Fabinho video if you're a member. I think you'll enjoy that. And thanks everyone for watching. All we can do is stay talking and discussing and helping each other. Really hope that helps. But it's bleak at the moment. Hopefully we can get some positive news. So thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you all in a bit.